The ground beneath the red brand has just shifted, and the seismic readings are off the charts. Welcome back to Wrestling Apocalypse, the only place where we track the tremors before the world feels the quake. Tonight, we aren't just talking about a roster move, we are talking about a hostile takeover. For months, the rumors have been swirling like a hurricane around the NXT Performance Center. We saw the dominant reign, we saw the shattered bodies left in the wake of the ruler, and we wondered, when would the glass ceiling break? Well, the wait is over. The ink is dry, the contract is signed, and the monster has been unleashed. Oba Femi is officially the newest member of the Monday Night Raw roster, and the hierarchy of the WWE just became an endangered species. Tonight, we are breaking down the secret negotiations, the moment Adam Pearce finally landed the big fish, and why the Raw locker room is currently in a state of absolute panic. Imagine the scene at the start of Raw. The lights are bright, the energy is electric, but there's an undercurrent of tension that you can't quite put your finger on. Adam Pearce walks out to the ring, not with a microphone, but with a leather-bound folder. He looks like a man who just won the lottery but is terrified of how he's going to spend the money. The crowd is buzzing. Is it a legend returning? Is it a cross-brand trade? Pearce clears his throat, and the words echo through the arena. The future doesn't wait for permission. It takes what it wants. And then, that deep, tribal, earth-shaking bass hits the speakers. The silhouette that emerged from the smoke wasn't just a wrestler, it was a physical manifestation of dominance. Oba Femi, standing 6'6" and 300 pounds of Nigerian steel, didn't just walk to the ring, he marched toward his new kingdom. The cinematic quality of this debut cannot be overstated. When Femi stepped into that ring, he didn't do a flip, he didn't play to the crowd, and he didn't cut a 10-minute promo about his journey. He simply took the contract from Pearce, signed it on the back of the general manager's clipboard, and stared directly into the hard camera. It was a message to every champion, every veteran, and every dreamer in the back: I am here, and the rules no longer apply. Michael Cole was losing his mind on commentary, shouting that the greatest force in NXT history had arrived to claim his birthright. Wade Barrett was speechless, simply nodding in respect to the raw power radiating from the ring. Backstage insights tell us that the bidding war for Oba Femi was one of the most intense in the history of the modern era. Our sources at Wrestling Apocalypse have learned that Nick Aldis over on SmackDown was prepared to offer Femi a blank check and a guaranteed main event spot at WrestleMania 42. But Adam Pearce played a different card. He offered Femi total autonomy. He offered him the chance to be the flagship monster of the Netflix era. The negotiation reportedly took place in a private hangar in Orlando, where Femi made it clear he didn't want a spot, wanted the whole mountain. When he finally put pen to paper, the air in the room supposedly changed. One executive described it as signing a treaty with a storm. Let's talk about the fan perspective, because the IWC is absolutely on fire. Go to X or Reddit right now and search the name Oba Femi. You'll see fans comparing this to the debut of Brock Lesnar in 2002 or the arrival of Goldberg. There's a sense of genuine fear mixed with exhilaration. One fan in the front row was caught on camera with their jaw literally on the floor, pointing at Femi's arms, which are essentially the size of tree trunks. The humor comes in when you see the reactions from the smaller guys on the roster. We saw a clip of some of the high flyers in the back watching the monitor, and their faces were a mix of "oh no" and "I'm calling out sick next week." You can't blame them. How do you prepare for a man who can throw a 250-pound athlete like he's a bag of laundry? The stakes for the Raw roster have never been higher. We already have Gunther ruling with discipline, we have Bronson Reed causing tsunamis, and we have the chaotic return of Dean Ambrose lurking in the shadows. But Oba Femi is a different kind of problem. He is a ruler by name and by nature. The consequences were felt immediately when he didn't even leave the ring after signing his contract. He demanded a sacrifice. Out came a mid-card veteran, a man who has traveled the world and seen it all. But he hadn't seen this. The match lasted exactly 90 seconds. Femi didn't just win, he erased the man. The pop-up powerbomb he delivered was so violent that the ring cables actually groaned. The sound of the impact was a heavy, dull thud that silenced the entire arena. The pacing of the night was perfect. It wasn't just a debut, it was a demonstration. After the match, Femi didn't celebrate. He grabbed a microphone the first time he had spoken as a Raw superstar, and he said 5 words that are going to haunt the dreams of the locker room: acknowledge the end of days. It was a direct shot at the bloodline, a direct shot at the status quo, and a declaration that the apocalypse isn't coming, it's standing right in front of you. Backstage, the tension was palpable. We saw footage of the Judgment Day huddled in a corner, looking unusually quiet. We saw Drew McIntyre pacing like a caged animal. Even the big men of Raw are looking at their shoes when Femi walks by. There is an emotional beat to this story that goes beyond just strength. It's the story of a man who came from Nigeria with a shot-put background, conquered the hardest training ground in the world, and has now arrived at the pinnacle. It's an American dream wrapped in a Nigerian nightmare. Think about the rivalries we are about to witness. Oba Femi versus Gunther? That is a collision that could literally break the ring. Oba Femi versus Bronson Reed? That's a kaiju movie come to life. Oba Femi versus Seth Rollins? That's the ultimate test of the visionary speed against the ruler's power. The ripple effect of this signing is going to be felt all the way to WrestleMania 42 in Las Vegas. If Femi enters the Elimination Chamber, which, let's be honest, he almost certainly will, he becomes the immediate favorite. Who can stop a man who doesn't feel pain and treats gravity like a suggestion? The humor in the locker room has turned into gallows humor. We've heard that the catering area was surprisingly quiet after Femi's debut. Everyone is wondering who is next. But the excitement from the fans is what's going to drive this era. We are entering a period where big man wrestling is back, and it's more athletic than it's ever been. Oba Femi isn't just a statue, he's a freight train with the agility of a linebacker. He's the physical evolution of the business. As we look toward next week's Raw, the questions are piling up. Will Femi target a title immediately? Will he form an alliance, or will he continue to destroy everything in his path as a lone wolf? And most importantly, how will the top guys react when they realize they aren't the biggest sharks in the tank anymore? Adam Pearce might have signed the biggest contract of his career, but he also might have signed the death warrant for the peace and quiet of his show. The story of Oba Femi on Monday Night Raw is just beginning, but the first chapter was written in blood and steel tonight. He is the latest member of the roster, but he is already the most dominant. The ruler has arrived, and the throne is currently occupied by someone who isn't ready for the fight of their life. This is what we live for on Wrestling Apocalypse, the moments where the industry changes forever in the blink of an eye. So, what do you think of Oba Femi's debut? Was it the most dominant arrival since The Shield, or is he in for a rude awakening when he faces the veterans of the Red Brand? Who is the first person you want to see Femi go toe-to-toe with in a main event? And do you think SmackDown made a mistake by letting him slip through their fingers? Sound off in the comments. I want to see your theories on how Femi is going to reshape the road to WrestleMania. If you enjoyed this breakdown of the newest monster on the block, do us a huge favor and smash that like button. It helps the apocalypse grow and keeps the truth coming to your screen. Subscribe to Wrestling Apocalypse and hit that notification bell so you never miss a breaking report. We've got eyes in the production trucks and ears in the locker rooms. Would you like me to do a full tale of the tape comparing Oba Femi to the most dominant debutants in WWE history? Let us know in the comments. Thanks for riding with us tonight. Stay loud, stay wild, and keep your eyes on the ruler because he's definitely watching you. We'll see you in the next one.